Okay, so when you think of a bird, what's the first image that pops into your head? Like, honestly.
For most people, it's probably something gentle.
Right. A robin hopping around the yard, maybe?
Right.
Or a dove. Something fragile, melodic.
It's the classic image. Birds are just scenery. They're, the background music of nature. We see them as these benign, fluttery things.
Exactly. But this is where we're going to have to just shatter that image. Because if you zoom out, or maybe look a little closer at the family tree birds aren't just pretty decorations.
No, not at all.
They're the living, breathing descendants of theropod dinosaurs, direct cousins of velociraptors. And today, we are going to find out that some of them absolutely kept the military-grade weaponry to prove it.
It's a fascinating biological reality that we often gloss over. Evolution doesn't always favor the cute. It favors what's effective.
And today, we're looking at a specific dossier of birds that have evolved some truly terrifying mechanisms for survival.
We're not talking about the pecking order here. We're talking about biological warfare.
We're doing a deep dive into the 10 most dangerous birds in the animal kingdom, and we've got a stack of reports here. I mean, the descriptions sound more like medieval hardware than biology.
And just to be clear, our mission here isn't to make you afraid of going for a walk.
Right. No fear-mongering. You're not canceling birds today.
Well, maybe a healthy dose of caution is warranted. But really, the goal is to understand the engineering behind these animals. From toxic skin that can cause paralysis to talons that can crush bone.
We want to understand how they survive and why, sometimes, humans get caught in the crossfire.
Exactly.
So let's unpack this. And I want to start with the ones that feel familiar, the neighborhood threats. The list starts with a bird I think everyone just assumes is a nuisance, the herring gull.
This is a great place to start. It really highlights the misconception about size. In Europe, North America, you see them everywhere. At the beach, in parking lots.
Yeah, particularly rats with wings. That's kind of the reputation, right?
That's the common sentiment, yeah. But if you actually look at the specs in these reports, a herring gull is a serious animal. We're talking about a 5-foot wingspan.
5 feet. That's wider than some people are tall.
Precisely. You just don't realize that when they're hunched over a French fry and they have this sharp, hooked beak. Anatomically, it's designed for gripping and tearing flesh.
It's a raptor's tool.
It really is. They're kleptoparasites. They steal food from other predators. You have to be tough to do that.
And according to the dossier, they aren't shy about using it on us. They're notorious for swooping down to snatch snacks.
Which sounds funny until you read the injury reports. We're talking deep cuts, faces, hands.
And the aggression is the real danger here, especially during nesting season.
Oh, yeah. The reports show a clear pattern. They don't just flutter at you, they dive. 40 miles per hour sometimes, striking from behind. They always aim for your head.
There's one detail here that really stuck with me. It says they've been known to kill pets.
Yes. Groups of gulls, pecking small dogs or cats to death. It's a grim reminder that they are opportunistic predators. They see a vulnerability and then just swarm. It's pack behavior.
Okay, so note to self, hide the fries, maybe watch the chihuahua. Let's move to a bird that takes swooping to a professional level. We're heading to Australia.
Ah, yes, the Australian magpie. Any Australian listeners just flinched, I guarantee it.
I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently there's a recognized time of year in Australia called swooping season.
August to September, it's breeding season. And the Australian magpie takes home defense. Well, it takes it incredibly seriously. It's almost psychological warfare.
The sources say they specifically target cyclists, joggers, pedestrians. It's not just random.
No, they're hunting intruders. And they use their sharp beak and claws to bite and stab. Because they're attacking from the air, often hitting people moving at speed like on a bike, the injuries can be pretty severe.
The report mentions blindness. That's terrifying.
And here's where it gets really interesting, scientifically. The data suggests that some magpies will target specific people while completely ignoring others.
Wait, what?
Research has shown they have facial recognition that can remember a face for years.
So it's personal. They literally hold a grudge.
In a way, yeah. If a magpie decides you're a threat, it will pick you out of a crowd. It suggests a level of cognitive ability we're just starting to understand.
Great. Vindictive birds. Okay, moving from the aggressive to the deceptively elegant. The mute swan.
The romantic bird.
Right, you see them on a lake, necks curved, all peaceful, but that's just an image.
It's a dangerous juxtaposition, that beauty and raw violence. A mute swan is a tank in a tutu.
The stats here say large males weigh over 30 pounds.
which makes him one of the heaviest flying birds in existence. And to get that 30 pounds into the air requires immense muscle power. So when they use those wings as weapons, it's not a slap.
It's a bludgeon.
It's like being hit with a baseball bat. The text mentions they can cause bruising, even broken bones, especially in children or the elderly.
And there's a specific incident mentioned here that's just tragic. A man actually drowned after being attacked by one.
Yes, he was in a kayak, I believe. They pushed him into the water or kept him under. It highlights that the danger isn't always a direct injury. It's the sheer force of the animal putting you in a vulnerable position.
It really changes how you look at a quiet pond. Okay, one more in this neighborhood category, the Great Northern Loon.
This one is interesting because the danger is almost entirely hidden.
Right, they're famous for that haunting call. It's the soundtrack to a cabin vacation. I was shocked to see it on a most dangerous list.
It comes down to anatomy. The Great Northern Loon has a bill that's described as dagger-like. It's not flat like a duck's, it's a spear point.
A literal spear.
And they use it to fight rivals. Male loons get into these violent battles over territory, and the goal is to stab the other loon in the chest.
And sometimes they succeed. Fatally.
Yes. But it's not just other loons. There's a case here, a rare one, but lethal, involving a human researcher.
Oh, wow.
The researcher was handling the bird, and in a defensive reaction, the loon struck. The bill pierced the man's chest.
Unbelievable. A bird killing a human with a single strike.
It just shows that even if an animal isn't a predator of humans, if it has a weapon designed to kill its own kind, that weapon works on us too.
Okay, so that's physical aggression.
Yeah.
Beaks, wings, diving. But now I want to pivot to something that feels like it belongs in a sci-fi movie. We're moving from physical to chemical warfare.
The Pitohui.
The hooded Pitohui from New Guinea. This is number 10 on our list, but for weirdness, it's number 1. What makes this bird so dangerous?
It's poisonous. And let's be clear on the terminology, not venomous, where it bites you. It's poisonous. You cannot touch it.
The source says its skin and feathers contain, okay, help me with this, batrachotoxin.
Batrachotoxin, correct. It's a powerful neurotoxin.
And that causes numbness, paralysis, potentially death.
Exactly. It attacks the sodium channels in your nerves. What's fascinating is the connection. You know where else we find that exact same toxin?
The notes say, poison dart frogs.
The golden poison dart frog in Colombia. It's incredibly potent.
Yeah.
If you handle this bird without gloves, you start to feel burning and tingling. In high enough doses, it can lead to paralysis and cardiac arrest.
How does a bird end up with frog poison?
That's the key. It doesn't make it. It sequesters it from its diet. It eats specific beetles that contain the toxin, and instead of dying, the bird absorbs the poison into its skin and feathers.
So it turns its lunch into a force field.
That's a great way to put it. It's a chemical defense. And it even has the warning colors, the striking black and orange. It's nature's way of saying back off.
So let's leave the poison bird and go back to the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
We're going from the strange outlier to the heavies of the sky, the aerial apex predators.
The eagles. Specifically the harpy eagle and the crowned eagle.
Let's start with the harpy, Central and South America. This thing looks prehistoric.
It's massive. A wingspan over 6.5 feet weighs up to 20 pounds. But the harpy isn't just about size, it's about grip strength.
The feet. The source says the talons grow to 5 inches, 13 centimeters.
To put that in perspective, that's longer than the claws of a grizzly bear.
Whoa.
And it's not just the length, it's the power. The source notes these talons have the strength to crush bones. They exert hundreds of pounds of pressure. They don't just hold, they incapacitate.
And they eat monkeys and sloths.
They're canopy hunters. They have to lift heavy prey out of the trees. Imagine picking up another person and just flying away with them. That's the kind of power we're talking about.
Have they attacked people?
No verified deaths, thankfully. But there are accounts of serious injuries when people get too close to their nests. If a bird can crush a monkey's skull, you do not want to climb its tree.
Incredible power. But then we have the crowned eagle, which is smaller, right?
It is, about 11 pounds. But size isn't everything. The crowned eagle is called the leopard of the sky. It punches way above its weight class.
The report says it hunts antelopes weighing up to 65 pounds. Wait, the bird is 11 pounds, and it takes down a 65-pound antelope.
That is the definition of disproportionate strength. It's a brutal, efficient hunter. It tears its victims into pieces to carry them back to the nest.
And this is the part that gave me chills, the human danger section.
Yes. This is one of the few birds where predation on humans is a documented concern. There have been instances in Africa where this eagle has preyed on children.
That's terrifying. It really drives home the point that to a predator like this, we're just another mammal on the ground.
To them, we're part of the ecosystem and potentially part of the food chain.
Okay, so we've covered the skies. Now we have to talk about the ones that stay on the ground, the flightless giants. And this is where the dinosaur connection feels most real to me.
The ratites, the emu, the cassowary, and the ostrich. They traded flight for raw power and speed. They don't need to fly away because they can fight back.
Let's start with the emu. Second largest bird, 6 feet tall, 150 pounds.
They're built for running. But the danger comes from those legs. Usually they're curious, even gentle, but if they get cornered...
They kick. And it's a unique kick, not backwards like a horse.
No, it's forward and down. They have these huge claws, several inches long. The motion is designed to rake and tear skin. They can knock a person flat.
The issue often seems to be people underestimating them because they look kind of goofy.
They do, but a 150-pound animal panicking is dangerous, plain and simple.
Now, if the emu is the curious danger, the cassowary sounds like the active danger.
The cassowary is often cited as the world's most dangerous bird. It looks like something straight out of Jurassic Park.
With that bony casque on his head, yeah. And it can run 30 miles an hour through dense forest. But we have to talk about the feet.
The anatomy of the foot it's the stuff of nightmares. It has 3 toes, and the inner toe has a dagger-like nail that is 5 inches long.
5 inches. That's not a claw, that's a knife.
It's a physiological dagger, and unlike the emu, the cassowary has killed humans. It jumps feet first. It's a karate kick with a bayonet attached.
And most attacks happen during feeding attempts.
This is the critical human error factor. People try to feed them. They approach this wild, prehistoric animal with food. The bird gets aggressive, and it strikes. One kick can sever an artery.
It's that boundary issue again. Treating a wild animal like a petting zoo attraction.
Precisely. And finally, that brings us to the king, the #1 threat.
The ostrich.
The biggest, strongest, fastest bird on Earth.
The stats are mind-blowing. 9 feet tall, 350 pounds.
And a top speed of 45 miles per hour. You cannot outrun an ostrich.
No. And the dossier compares them to wolves and grizzly bears in terms of danger.
Well, think about where they live. They survive on the African savanna alongside lions, leopards, hyenas. You don't survive in that neighborhood by being soft.
They injure or kill 2 to 3 people every year. Statistically, that puts them right up there with large mammal predators.
And it's the legs again.
Massive legs. The kick force has been estimated at over 2,000 pounds per square inch.
That's enough to kill a lion.
A lion.
Yes, there are records of ostriches killing lions with a single kick. So when an ostrich is threatened and delivers that blow to a human, it can shatter a femur, crush a skull.
It definitely puts the big bird character in a new light.
It should. This is a warrior bird. It survived millions of years by standing its ground.
So we've gone from the deceptive park birds like the swan and gull, to the chemical mystery of the Pitohui, the aerial power of the eagles, and finally, the brute force of the ostrich and cassowary.
It's quite a spectrum of danger.
It is. And for me, the big takeaway is just how diverse danger can be. It's not always big teeth. Sometimes it's a toxic feather or a kick that feels like a car crash.
And I think the broader theme is that nature is a competitive system. It isn't just scenery. These birds have evolved these mechanisms, the toxins, the talons, to survive and protect their kin.
It's not malice. It's survival.
Exactly. But it demands our respect. And I think we've lost a bit of that healthy fear.
That's the thought I want to leave everyone with. We have this tendency, maybe because of cartoons, I don't know, to want to get close to these animals.
We project a Disney relationship onto them. We think if we're nice, they'll be nice.
Right. But if this deep dive has shown us anything, it's that these animals have boundaries.
Yeah.
And they have the means to enforce them.
Just because it has feathers doesn't mean it can't hurt you. In fact, it might hurt you precisely because you didn't expect it to.
So next time you're at the park or the beach or trekking in the rainforest, maybe admire the birds from a distance.
A safe distance, especially if they have 5-inch claws.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening to this deep dive. Stay curious, stay safe, and give the wildlife some space. See you next time.